President Buhari forms Transition Council ahead of 2023 election. President Muhammadu Buhari gives Oba of Benin a fresh appointment as the fourth Chancellor of Bayero University. Nigerian Army commits to free, fair election, says GOC. U.S. military brings down flying object over Lake Huron. This is MLC TV Global News, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Matthias Ayodeji Peter. Good day. Muhammadu Buhari has established a Presidential Transition Council for facilitating and managing the 2023 transition program. Buhari also signed the Executive Order No. 14 of 2023 on the facilitation and management of presidential transitions. This was disclosed in a statement by Willie Bassi, Director of Information for the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The President is supposed to leave office and hand over to a new administration on May 29, later this year. The Transition Council will be inaugurated by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation on Tuesday, 14th February 2023 at 12 o'clock noon at the Conference Hall of the SGF, according to the statement. A key feature of the Presidential Executive Order No. 14 of 2023 is the institutionalization of a legal framework that will enable a seamless transition of power from one presidential administration to another, which is part of President Buhari's legacy. Members of the committee are Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chairman, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice. Permanent Secretaries from the following ministries and offices: Defense, Interior, Finance, Budget and National Planning, Foreign Affairs and Information and Culture. Others are Federal Capital Territory Administration, Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, General Services Office, Economic and Political Affairs Office, National Security Advisor, Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, Director General National Intelligence Agency, Director General State Security Services, Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and 2 representatives to be nominated by the President-elect. The President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed Oba Ewere II of Benin as the 4th Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano. The President, who was represented by the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Rashid, performed the installation on Saturday at the university's 36th and 37th combined convocation, where over 16,000 students received various degrees. He said there is no doubt that Bayero University is indeed lucky to have the Oba as its Chancellor. He is a man of great experience and a seasoned diplomat. Buhari said he officially congratulates His Royal Majesty Omoroba Edo Uku Apolopolo Ewere II, the Oba of Benin, on his well-deserved appointment as the Chancellor of Bayero University. While congratulating the monarch on his appointment as Chancellor and the award of a Doctor of Law degree honoris causa by the university, Buhari stated that the monarch was deserving of the honor. KOGI State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Wemi Jones, has described as absolute falsehood a report making the rounds in some section of some online media that Governor Bello has reportedly ordered the sack of KOGI teachers who are not APC supporters. Jones, in a statement issued to newsmen in Lokoja while reacting to the misinformation, described the news as fake, baseless and a figment of the imagination of unscrupulous individuals masquerading under the guise of opposition with the intention to create disaffection amongst teachers and workers in the state. The commissioner said, as a matter of fact, the state government has released a list of 1,500 successful applicants to be employed as teachers in the state secondary schools in the first phase of an ongoing recruitment exercise for teachers. Describing the report as one from the pit of hell, he explained that it would interest the authors of the sponsored report to note that in the just concluded transparent exercise carried out to recruit teachers in the state, nobody was asked to show his or her party membership card, whether he is APC or PDP. Rather, for everybody that was interviewed, what mattered was whether the applicant possessed the requisite qualification to be a teacher in the state or not. Wemi described the misinformation as one too many by the opposition, saying the report was not only illogical but also one laced with lies and vendetta, while wondering why the opposition would go so low to paint the state government black for no just cause. The commissioner said, at no time was any directive issued to local government chairmen, as contained in the report, to compile names of teachers not sympathetic to APC, noting that the present administration was one that had placed premium on recruitment and improvement of the welfare of teachers and workers in general. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Order-Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has secured the conviction of a former Permanent Secretary, Peter Ayeni, and Director of Finance and Accounts, Pius Oyemolon, at the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, ESUPEB, over allegations bordering on fraud, conspiracy, and abuse of office. ICPC had in a 2-count charge brought before Honorable Justice Acha J.I. of the Edo State High Court 1, sitting in Benin City, averred that the convicts, while being public officers in 2009, conspired amongst themselves and fraudulently placed the sum of over 160 million naira ESUPEB fund into a fixed deposit account with the Equatorial Trust Bank, now Sterling Bank, for 30 days at a 15% interest rate. The court was also informed of how the convicts shared among themselves the sum of 1,778,000 naira being profit yielded from the fraudulent fixed deposit investment. Counsel to ICPC had argued that the action of the former public officers contravenes Section 19 and 26 of the Corrupt Practices and Order-Related Offences Act 2000 and urged the courts to mete out appropriate sanctions. The trial judge, having found that the prosecution had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt, convicted the duo on all the charges leveled against them. In handing down his judgment, Justice Archer sentenced them to 5 years imprisonment, each with an option of fine of 1,778,000 naira, which was the proceeds of their crime. A renowned senior advocate of Nigeria, San OLANIPEKUN, had called on the Inspector General of Police to comply with a court order that committed the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed BAWA, to prison for contempt. OLANIPEKUN, who said BAWA was trying to cause anarchy in the country by flagrantly disobeying court orders, said BAWA had recently been committed to prison in a similar ruling by a Federal Capital Territory High Court in November. He said this just as the office of the IGP received and acknowledged the order committing BAWA to prison. Speaking on Arise Television, the senior advocate of Nigeria argued that no Nigerian or foreigner, no matter how highly placed, should be allowed to rubbish the courts, noting that the same instruments put the EFCC boss in office. In fact, the higher the position you occupy, the greater the burden of responsibility on you to show good example and live within the ambit of the law. OLANIPEKUN said nobody at all, no matter how highly placed, no matter the position they occupy, not even the President of Nigeria, can disobey court orders. In this particular case, OLANIPEKUN said the Inspector General of Police is going to carry out that order, is going to go to prison, or at the earliest time possible, he goes back to the courts and gets himself purged on the contempt. All he has to do is to go and release that particular citizen, and if there are other orders that the court has made, like in this particular case, the court has made an order for an apology to the citizen for so detaining him in a flagrant breach of his fundamental human rights. Justice R.O. Ayola of the KOGI State High Court in this particular judgment granted the application for committal to prison of the EFCC chairman for disobeying a court ruling delivered on November 30, 2022, wherein the EFCC chairman was directed to produce the applicant in the case, Ali Bello. Ali Bello has dragged BAWA to court for arresting and detaining him illegally, with a court ruling in his favor only for the EFCC to arraign him for alleged money laundering 3 days after the ruling, insisting that the anti-graft agency boss could not effect an action without first obeying the court order that sent him to jail. The Land Silk noted that the actions of the EFCC boss amounted to law-breaking and could trigger anarchy in the land. Over 100 anti-corruption civil society organizations and thousands of their members and supporters staged a massive protest in Lagos on Saturday in continuation of their call for the removal of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed BAWA, over alleged continued disobedience of court orders.
What we're doing here today should not be strange to Nigerians. We're in a situation where things have to be put right. BAWA, as EFCC chairman, came on board as a result of protest, as a result of injustice that was being meted out to Nigerians by the ex-EFCC person. And we felt BAWA coming in, he will make sure things are all right. But we have found out that as young as he is, he has refused to obey court orders. And he wants to send people to prison. And we're saying you can't be sending people to prison when you refuse to obey the court order that says you must test the prison. You want to put people there, that you must be able to also go there. You have been prosecuted 3 times. You have been convicted 3 times by competent courts in this country. And 3 times, BAWA has refused to obey. Simple walk into prison. Test that place. When you test there, you know what you're doing. Thank you.
We are here today because we are beginning to see anti-democratic elements within the democratic process who are daily drawing us back in the fight against corruption. This is a coalition of different society organizations against corruption. For a while now, we have observed the EFCC chairman flagrantly disobeying court orders. And we believe that he who will come to equity must come with clean hand. If you are the head of an anti-graft body and you find it difficult to obey court ruling, such a person is a lawbreaker. You cannot be in charge of arresting people that are drawing the country backward in terms of corruption, and you yourself will be a culprit of disobeying court order. One of the essence of leadership is obeying the tenets of democracy and the rule of law, and key to that is court ruling. If BAWA has consistently in the last few months disobeyed court orders, he is unfit to continue to sit at the head of the anti-graft body.
We are not unaware of the persistent pressure on the media to underplay what is happening, currently at the EFCC. This is just one of the series of actions that we are going to be undertaking as Nigerians. We will not relent until the Commission begins to toe the part of the rule of law. We cannot run a democracy on the wish of and the aspiration of a man. It must be consistent with the provisions of our law. And if there is pressure on the media that reportage of events that is happening, I know the Nigerian media have refused to compromise. We'll continue to engage the media, continue to engage Nigerians to ensure that we expose every atrocities against, because the biggest form of corruption is disobedience to rule of law.
Leaders of the anti-corruption groups who began what they describe as a week-long protest against politicization of the EFCC, disobedience of court orders and infringement on human rights of Nigerians, on Friday said many CSOs called to join the struggle after the maiden press conference held in Lagos. The CSOs were joined by senior lawyers at the rally staged through the streets of Ikeja through Ikeja City Mall and ending at Oregun Junction in Ikeja, Lagos. The Nigerian Association of Women Journalists (NAWOJ) KOGI State Chapter has appealed to relevant authorities in charge of water supply to restore water to residents in Lokoja and its environs to reduce the hardship faced by its citizens in search for potable water. The appeal was made following a resolution which emanated from NAWOJ Congress meeting signed by the association's chairperson, Anne Olurinde, which held in Lokoja, Kogi State capital. Lokoja residents have been left without water supply for several weeks, leaving residents to source for alternative sources of water, which health experts have said could result into waterborne diseases. Kogi NAWOJ has authoritatively said that most communities in Lokoja had suffered scarcities of water even before the flood incidents. It urged all relevant authorities to swing into action so that Lokoja can have access to potable water for domestic use. The association also urged the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company (AEDC) to restore power supply to Lokongoma community and other communities that have suffered inadequate power supply due to one reason or the other. The association is of the opinion that inadequate power supply is capable of crippling the economic sector of the state and adversely the internally generated revenue. In another development, the association noted that as pregnant women and nursing mothers continue to slump due to the unending automated teller machine ATM queues in commercial banks perpetuated by the Naira redesign policy, Kogi NAWOJ urged the federal government and Central Bank of Nigeria to make cash available to alleviate the sufferings of the people. While the association expressed optimism that the BVAS machine introduced by the Independent Electoral Commission (INEC) would guarantee a free and fair elections in 2023, it urged all key players of the election to ensure that security and safety of women and youths before, during and after the elections are guaranteed. It urged women to come out en masse to exercise their franchise in the forthcoming elections, urging them to maintain peace and order at their various polling units. Reactions have continued to trail over the Supreme ruling and the CBN Governor Emefiele's policy on the deadline for the use of old and new Naira notes. Many citizens in the queue at various banks in the city of Lokoja lament over the CBN decision, comments the Supreme Court ruling saying it is only normal to allow Nigerians to be fully sensitized to the new notes. They said the people in the rural area will suffer the most if the CBN Governor refused to allow the old and new Naira notes to flow together.
It's really very bad, because even the deadline, I think they still have to extend it because we are all suffering in this country. To get the money that we all worked for it's difficult for us to get. For us to get it, we need to buy our own notes and all, because it's really telling on the people. We can't do anything. We are suffering in this country. We can't do anything. And I came to the bank, there's no money. Both the old and the new, there's no money. They are not even there. So let's say, okay, someone that has old Naira notes at home now goes out there to get something, and the vendor will just tell the person that I can't give you because of the notes you have. So definitely, when the person too will want to come and look for new Naira notes, the problem still has not been solved. So I don't think anything, they should just leave it. There will still be flow of cash, even if right now there's no flow of cash. But with the old Naira notes and the new Naira notes, it should just be in circulation, and I think we'll be alright.
I'm feeling bad though, because there's no money anywhere. There's no money at all. We are feeling bad. There's no money. Nobody gets joy self. If they extend them, but we go there very, very happy. Because the way things are going now is very, very bad. Because if you can see now, people are suffering because of money. There is no money. If you don't even go back now, you cannot see money to collect. You understand? There will be queue, we go queue to even give money now. You cannot be able to collect money.
Those people in the village that cannot get access to new Naira notes, you know, they are suffering. People like my mothers in the village, they don't have access for getting ATM money from POS and all this thing, because it's difficult for you to get. Even the city people, it's difficult for them to get. Talk more of people in the rural area that are suffering because of this stuff and all these things. They should just give us a little time so that at least when we have enough new Naira notes, then from there they can. This one will go off.
The citizens are suffering, whereby you have money in the bank and you cannot access it. Cashless policy is not all in the country understand. People in the rural area, I don't think they understand what is going on. So it should be a gradual process. Then everybody will be accessible.
A young man, Stephen Obada, a resident of Lokoja, argued that if the CBN should extend the deadline, then the purpose for which the new note is being introduced is defeated.
Yes, we can see the plight of the people. Obviously, as you can even see beside us here, each time you come out, all ATM machines are filled, packed with people. All banks are packed with people. So the people are actually suffering it. But in the long run, I think it's a good policy that the CBN put forward. And now the Supreme Court coming up to say they should put a hold on that. It's hard to me. It feels like it has this political undertone. I feel like there is some certain level of political angle to that decision. You understand? And so I personally don't think. Yeah, on one hand, the people are suffering it, but on the other hand, the aim of that policy would be defeated because the election is just around the corner.
On a general note, people believe both old and new should be allowed to be used as legal tender to cushion the suffering the people are presently going through. The executives of the National Cashier Association of Nigeria, NCAN, KOGI State Chapter, under the leadership of Makama Ademo, have been suspended. Others include the national ex-official Momo Baba Demo and Stephen Ahiba. Their suspension followed an alleged involvement in unwholesome practices using the name of the association and their inability to yield the needed results. Declaring their suspension at the general meeting held in Lokoja, the Deputy National President of NCAN, Shaibu Musa, noted that the association will not allow a name to be dragged into the mud by a few individuals following their selfish interest. Our reporter has more details.
The National Cashew Association of Nigeria, NCAN, is the umbrella body charged with regulating the Nigeria cashew industry for the benefit of all stakeholders, be it cashew farmers, traders, processors, exporters, and service providers. Just like other recognized organizations, NCAN has the permission to punish members for wrongdoings within the ambit of its codes of conduct, hence her suspension of its officials in Kogi State. The Deputy National President, who doubles as the Vice Chairman, North Central of the organization, Shaibu Musa, and other members of the association in Kogi State, cast a vote of no confidence on the Makama Adamo-led executives, stating poor performance and other ill activities that led to their suspension.
When a good move was made by the government to wipe away our tears of what we have been crying for. He also ganged up to say that they will never achieve that aim. And lastly, not even running a parallel government with Okada alone, they place themselves in the position of our own state government again. When they say the foreigners should not come to the farm gates, they choose to organize their own group in the name of our association to say that yes, what government says was not it was an irrelevant or something, that their own say should be irrelevant. Say as leadership president, North Central, want to move a motion of no confidence on the present acting ESCO who are promoting our affair. Will you agree with me? Yes. So if so, we hereby pass vote of no confidence on the acting ESCO, that Makama and Amunden ESCO. And as now,
the national president of NCAN, Ojo Joseph Ajanako, approved the suspension of the said officials of the body in Kogi State and reinstated the commitment of the association to ensuring sanity among members. Ajanako advised cashew farmers nationwide not to allow foreigners to make them modern slaves in their hometown, calling on them to resist baits from those who are using various means to deprive them of their rights and privileges.
Deputy President and also the Vice President of North Central, I want to say your request is approved. And each and every one of them that is suspended remains suspended. And for the new ESCO that I'm presenting, that you present before me today, they are accepted. I am presenting them to the Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture, who represents the presence of the Governor of the state, the number one state of the state, through the able leadership of the Director of Produce, Mr. Kule Agano.
The Kogi State Commissioner for Agriculture, David Ape, represented by the Director of Produce, the Coordinator, Kogi State Cashew Procurement Scheme, Osila Majud Petros, and a national stakeholder of the association, Mohammed Engali Chapi, praised the NCAN national president for supporting the development and promised to give their support to the new executives to enable them succeed. At the meeting, new executives were sworn into office in an acting capacity. Speaking on their behalf, the acting chairman of NCAN in Kogi State, Salisu Ochimana, promised that they will live up to expectations in the discharge of their duties.
I appreciate you all for giving us opportunity to lead this noble association. We are ready to work with any directive from the national body of NCAN. We also work with the State Executive Council and Ministry of Agriculture.
Other members of the new executives include Nuruddin Omeza, Secretary General, Johnson Abejide, Vice Chairman West, Abdul Wahab Danmale, Assistant Secretary, and Baba Ate, Treasurer, among others. Highlight of the event include a minute silence in honor of the deceased former chairman of the association in Kogi State. I am Joshua Adinoy, reporting for MLC TV.
The Lagos State Cooperative Federation, LASCOFED, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, held its maiden edition of LASCOFED Festival at LTV Agidingbi, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was represented by the Deputy Governor Kadri Amzat, who said he was impressed at what the Lagos State Cooperative Federation has been doing. There were also other stakeholders in attendance. Prizes and awards were given to honor stakeholders at the festival. Our reporter has more.
Administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu says that he will continue to support the growth of cooperative societies in Lagos State in order for them to continue to thrive and raise the socio-economic status of their members and create more employment opportunities in the state. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadiri Hamzat, made this known at the Lagos State Cooperative Federation Festival. The governor also said that the state government was very proud of LASCOFED, especially in the way it had continued to manage the affairs of cooperative organizations in the state.
So it's a good platform to sustain business.
Was the Commissioner for Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Lola Akonde, who commended the leadership of LASCOFED for a job well done. The special advisor to the governor on commerce, industry, and cooperatives, Engineer Abiola Okonlawon Olowu, told journalists that the celebration of all cooperatives in Lagos State is an annual program. That is why members of LASCOFED were mobilized to be appreciated and recognized, and to let them know that they are still part of Lagos State cooperative members. They showcased their products from each group and local government.
We'll go on a short break now. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Time as suggested in the motion.
From 31st January to June 31st, 2023, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
Do you know what it takes to lead? Do you understand what is politics? Do you have issues concerning the way we play politics? Do you have reservations about some political mugu? Do you want to serve or be served? Do you want to contest? Do you want to occupy any political office or be in charge of your world? All this and many more are what we discuss right here in the political arena. A program where we trash and arrange, condemn and commend, celebrate and blame all that play out in politics. Do not be told. Join me, Warner Balagogo, every Saturday by 7 p.m. to throw more light on why we play politics the way we do and how we can play it better. Political Arena, building a government of the people and for the people. Don't miss it.
Welcome back. And now on politics. As Nigerians prepared to perform their franchise come February 25th and March 11th, 2023, politicians and their supporters have been advised to play the game by the rules. The Oyi of Okene, Kogi Central, His Royal Highness Isa Mama Okatai, made the call in an interview at his palace in Okene. He said the peace of the society should be prioritized by all several political activities on foot, and also enjoined candidates and their canvassers to remain humane in their activities. Let's join our reporter for more details.
The electoral umpire in Nigeria, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had long set February 25th and March 11th for the 2023 general elections for Nigerians to elect new leaders into various offices to oversee their affairs for the next 4 years. Political actors and various party groups have continued to campaign across the nooks and crannies of the nation, seeking votes. The Ohi of Okene said the need for them to do such in acceptable manner cannot be overemphasized. His Royal Highness Isa Maman Okatahi noted that gone were the days when people are forced to vote for leaders, advising political actors and their followers to embrace peace and as well make their manifestos known to the people.
Using this medium opportunity to advise our aspirants and politicians in the forthcoming election that we are encountering a lot of hardship now. They should not in any way add to the sufferings in which the common and ordinary masses are into right now. So for us to be able to live, if you know you have good intention, make your political ambition sellable to the masses and the citizens instead of planning negatively towards the forthcoming general election, where we are hearing that some set of people say election will not hold, there will be violence, there will be boycott. No, we are citizens of Nigeria, and election dates are always known. It's every 4 years since the beginning of democracy in the year 1999. So it's not new to us, and there's no need for threatening, and life should not be made difficult for the ordinary people whose votes are needed.
While calling on the electorate to come out in their numbers to perform their franchise, he also enjoined them to allow their conscience guide them while casting their votes.
Candid advice to citizens, especially the voters, is that they should respect democracy. They should be courageous to choose whoever they think will be able to lead us through, following the manifestos being published by the aspirants or the candidates. We should be able to have a new direction in this country, and that is why we must look for somebody who is capable. We have to, in a way, think well before we act, so that the best will emerge.
The Ohi of Okene, who is also the Oyarazi of Ibira land, prayed for Allah's peace and tranquility all over Nigeria before, during, and after the elections. For MLC TV, I am Joshua Adinoy.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will need over 23,000 personnel as collation and returning officers in the forthcoming presidential and National Assembly's elections, as well as governorship and state assembly elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated this in Abuja during a meeting with the Vice Chancellors of federal universities in the country. Professor Yakubu said collation of results will take place in over 8,000 registration areas and wards, 774 local government areas and 36 states of the Federation and FCT. In addition, they require returning officers for each constituency put together to engage over 23,000 personnel as collation and returning officers. They need the support of the universities to sort the requisite numbers of suitable academic staff of impeccable integrity who must also understand that this is a call to serve, he noted. Professor Yakubu said that staff who are card-carrying members or have participated in partisan politics should not be nominated. Also, those who have been involved in partisan politics or are known to have obvious political leanings should also not be nominated. Furthermore, those who have been convicted of electoral malpractice must be excluded, he reiterated. On the security of those that will be involved in the election, Professor Yakubu said the Commission was working on a robust security plan and assurance that would cover everyone involved in election. The Deputy Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, NUC, Professor Chris Mayaki, urged those who would be nominated to avoid acts capable of tarnishing the image of the university community. In a remark, the chairperson of the Committee of Vice Chancellors and the Vice Chancellor University of Benin, Professor Lilian Salami, who acknowledged the recognition given to them by INEC, pledged the support and commitment of our colleagues not to disappoint the country. The special advisor to the INEC chairman, Professor Mohamed Kuna, told the Vice Chancellors that all the nominated staff must swear to an oath of neutrality. The regulatory agency for universities in Nigeria, the National Universities Commission, has ordered the closure of universities across the country to enable students to participate in the 2023 general elections. In a letter addressed to the Vice Chancellors of all universities and directors of inter-university center, the NUC noted that the directive was based on the directive of the Minister of Education, Adamu. As Vice Chancellors of all universities and Director Chief Executive of Inter-University Centers are quite aware the 2023 general elections have been scheduled to hold on Saturday, February 25, 2023 for the Presidential National Assembly and Saturday, March 11, 2023 for Gubernatorial and State Assembly, respectively. In view of the foregoing and concerns expressed on the security of staff, students, and properties of respective institutions, the Minister of Education, Adamu, has followed extensive consultations with the relevant security agencies, directed that all universities and inter-university centers be shut down and academic activities be suspended between February 22nd and March 14th, 2023. Consequently, Vice Chancellors and Chief Executives of inter-university centers are by the circular requested to shut down their respective institutions from Wednesday 22nd February 2023 to Tuesday 14th March 2023. There have been calls from the public for the closure of tertiary institutions to enable students to vote during 2023 elections. The data from the Independent National Electoral Commission reveals that over 26 million students are currently registered. Pastor of Light of God Outreach and members of the Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministries have cautioned youths not to be allowed to be this year's election's sacrificial lambs. They gave the charge on a Sunday service in Lokoja at their separate churches. Prayers were rendered to avert all evil working against the people and the nation before, during and after elections. Our reporter has more.
Pastor Sam Aduramo of the Light of God Outreach Ministry, Lokoja, said Christian faithful should live beyond just going to church. He advised Christians to let the world see Christ-like in them, saying sinners do not belong to God.
Charges to Christians all over the world is that if truly we belong to Him, if truly we are called by His name, then our action, our behavior, our life should reflect it. It's not just by saying, I belong to Him, but we must exhibit it. The Bible says, by their fruits, we shall know them. So by our fruits, we shall be known. So enough of talk, by talking, by saying we are this, we are that. No, let the people, let the world see in our action. You are the light of the world, a citizen of it that cannot be hidden. If truly we are the light, then we must shine.
On the introduction of New Naira notes, Pastor Sam declared the will of God to prevail over the affairs of the nation.
In the New Naira, I believe all things work together for good for those that love the Lord. And I believe that God is in charge. And I believe God will take control. Definitely, it is possible for the leaders to have a good intention. And it's always possible for people wanting to sabotage the intention. But I still believe strongly that the will of God will come to pass. The will of God will prevail. And that's why we are praying, even as a church.
While at the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministry, Lokoja, a governorship aspirant of the People Democratic Party, PDP, Bolufemi Olarotumi, and the chairman KOGI Youth Development Commission, Lawan Ozomata James, described the introduction of New Naira notes as a welcome development, saying saboteurs have hijacked the process.
It's a good product, but there are saboteurs. But Nigerians should understand something, that we are all praying for double portion of Elijah, God anointing. Are we ready to do double sacrifice? If you want double portion, it requires double sacrifice. We need to sacrifice. A lot of things has gone wrong. We don't expect this Naira design, the changes, to start immediately. What we are seeing now is people are fighting back. The cabals, those who benefited heavily from the illicit money laundering, they are the ones fighting back. And banks generally are not helping matter. But we will get over it. And I can assure you, Nigerians should be patient. Give Emefiele, give the president a little more time. We will get it right.
I think it is poorly implemented. The intention is good, but the implementation is telling hard on the people. So any policy that has adverse effect on the people, I think I would rather say that the policy has failed. You can see across the country we are having pockets of issues coming as a result of the implementation of the policy. If you are redesigning the Naira, which is okay, in accordance with the law, but you should be able to make arrangement or plans that will cushion the effect that comes after it. But this didn't happen. As we have been seeing, people are passing through serious problem as a result of that policy. And I want to call on the government to take action. When a policy is not achieving the desired purpose, you look for alternative immediately. The essence is for the people to benefit
from it. The people are now suffering from it. You take immediate action.
On the coming election, the clergyman joined Bolu and Ozomata to advise electorates to vote their conscience, called on youths to be aware of bad leaders.
I believe youths now, Nigeria of today, 2023, is not the same Nigeria of 2015. We have seen, we have known, we are wiser, and I think we are smarter. So I believe that having that at the back of our mind, majority now knows what to do. What I would just say to everybody is that this election should not be about ethnicity. It's not be about he's from my side, he's a Yoruba man, he's an Igbo man. It should be about integrity. It should be about, capability. It should be about delivery. We are in a very serious time that we all know what is happening. We are all seeing it. I've seen a lot of videos and, if not for God and the faith we have, normally there are things that could shake people's faith, really. So we've seen it all. So we should make up our mind this time around to do the right thing.
Advice we go to the youths. The youth form the chunk of the population. Whatever happens in the forthcoming election, 95% of it, or let me say 90% of it, will have something to do with the youth. I want the youth to be very careful, not to be used by the politicians. Yes, if they refuse the negative advances of the politicians, I'm telling you, we'll have a very credible election. They will be approached to carry out nefarious activities, but they shouldn't succumb to them. I'm looking forward to see a better Nigeria. Then, among the candidates now, Nigeria should be able to know those that have the interests of this country. Now look at their track records. Look at what they have done in the past. We have two major contenders. Others are there anyway, but Nigeria knows that we have two major contenders. And you look at their profile, you discover that you should be able to bank on one of them that will better this country.
Their manifesto is all around, and we have seen it. They have nothing good for the youth. So it is the youth, we, the youth, that will take power by our hand. We'll take it in our hand, we'll hold it in our hand. The destiny is in our hand. Somebody told me one day, he went to pray to a man of God. He's a young man of 30 years old. The man said, wait till 40 years. The man said, I cannot wait till 40 years. I can do something. He now said, okay, your destiny is in your hand. If you can beat the drum very well and you can dance very well, whoever beats the drum has his destiny. What am I saying? Your destiny lies in your hand. It lies in your ability. You don't let somebody deceive you. How many 5,000, 20,000, 50,000 can they give you to sell your vote? How long will you spend 50,000? For 4 years? No. Say no to inducement through money and vote your conscience. Vote the person that you know can change you. That's my advice for the youth.
Bolu urged Christians to collect their PVC to vote for credible leaders. They called on Christians to come out en masse to vote, saying they cannot depend only on prayers to elect leaders.
If you don't have PVC, we cannot be talking of changing this mess in this country to a better one. So first, you must obtain your PVC. When you obtain your PVC, get it, sell it not, because that is your destiny. When you hold it, vote for the right. Go on your knee with your PVC and ask God to direct you. Who do we vote for? Who is the choosing one? Most of us are missing in this country because we did not ask God. Like Israelites, they did not ask God. They just asked Samuel to make them a king. And that was why they got it wrong in the first place. We can still correct it. We can ask for mercy. We can pray for mercy of God so that He can lead us right. We need God intervention in this country.
The resident pastor of the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministry, Clement Aswelemet, took out time to pray for the nation and destroy all powers working against the progress of the nation and the people. Faith Abdulgafar reporting for MLC TV.
The Nigerian Army has restated commitment towards ensuring a conducive atmosphere for free and fair 2023 general elections in the country. The General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Godwin Mutkut, stated this at the 2022 End of the Year West African Social Activities (WASA) on Sunday in Sokoto. He said the division was suitably ready to support all relevant security agencies and authorities in shaping the environment to ensure the forthcoming general elections were conducted in a conducive atmosphere. The GOC further expressed gratitude with the performance of the officers and soldiers of the division, saying they have done exceptionally well as evident in the current level of peace and security in the state. He thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his sustained support to the Nigerian Army, while appreciating the COAS for ensuring an enabling environment towards addressing security challenges in the country. Governor Aminu Tambuwa also commended Buhari for his foresight towards sustainable peace and peaceful coexistence across the country. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Manasara Ahmed, the governor restated his commitment to support security agencies to discharge their constitutional mandate of ensuring a peaceful environment for all. On foreign, the Geological Survey of India, GSI, said on Thursday it has found lithium deposits for the first time in the country. India has lately been looking to strengthen its supply of key minerals, including lithium, that will be critical to furthering its electric vehicle plans. The 5.9 million tons of lithium inferred resources have been established in the Riasi district of the Northern Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the GSI said in a statement. U.S. military fighters jets on Sunday shot down an octagonal object over Lake Huron, the Pentagon said, the latest incident since a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon put North American security forces on high alert. It was the fourth flying object to be shot down over North America by a U.S. missile in a little more than a week. U.S. Air Force General Glenn Van Harrick, who is tasked with safeguarding U.S. airspace, told reporters that the military has not been able to identify what the three most recent objects are, how they stay aloft, or where they are coming from. Another defense official, speaking on condition of anonymity, subsequently said the military had not seen any evidence that the objects were extraterrestrial. On President Joe Biden's order, a U.S. F-16 fighter shot down the object at 2:42 p.m. local time over Lake Huron on the U.S.-Canada border, Pentagon spokesperson Brigadier General Patrick Ryder said in an official statement. Though it did not pose a military threat, the object could have potentially interfered with domestic air traffic as it was traveling at 20,000 feet, and it might have had surveillance capabilities. Rescuers pulled a woman alive from the rubble of a collapsed building in Turkey on Monday, broadcaster CNN Talk reported, a week after a major earthquake struck Turkey and Syria, killing more than 33,000 people. Sibel Kaya, 40, was rescued in southern Gaziantep province some 170 hours after the first of two quakes struck the region, the report said. Rescue workers in Karamamaras had also made contact with 3 survivors, believed to be a mother, daughter, and baby, in the ruins of a building. With chances of finding more survivors growing more remote, the toll in both countries rose above 33,000 on Sunday and looked set to keep growing. It was the deadliest quake in Turkey since 1939. On Sunday, rescue teams from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus pulled a man alive from a collapsed building in Turkey about 160 hours after the quake struck. In a central district of one of the worst-hit cities, Antakya, in southern Turkey, business owners emptied their shops on Sunday to prevent merchandise from being stolen by looters. Residents and aid workers who came from other cities cited worsening security conditions, with widespread accounts of businesses and collapsed homes being robbed. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has said his government will deal firmly with looters as he faces questions over his response to the earthquake ahead of an election scheduled for June that is expected to be the toughest of his 2 decades in power. The quake is now the 6th most deadly natural disaster this century, behind 2005 tremor that killed at least 73,000 people in Pakistan. A father and daughter, a toddler, and a 10-year-old girl were among other survivors pulled from the ruins of collapsed buildings in Turkey on Sunday, but such scenes are becoming rare as the number of dead climbed relentlessly. 46,000 homes have lost power as Cyclone Gabriel lashed the north of New Zealand. Authorities have issued warnings of heavy rain and winds, and hundreds of flights have been cancelled. Some areas have declared a state of emergency as Gabriel nears the North Island. It comes weeks after Auckland and surrounding areas were hit by record rainfall that sparked floods and killed 4 people. Emergency Management Minister Kieran McAnulty told a media briefing on Monday that the government is considering declaring a national state of emergency. A state of emergency has already been declared in 5 northern regions, including Auckland. The declaration gives local authorities greater power to respond to dangerous situations and allow them to restrict travel and provide aid. New Zealand's meteorological agency, Met Service, said NIGERIAN, a city north of Auckland, has received over 100 mm of rain in the past 12 hours. McAnulty added that Monday would be a critical day due to the highly dangerous combination of high winds and heavy rains. Winds of up to 140 km per hour battered the northern region, while Auckland Harbour Bridge was rocked by gusts of 110 km per hour. He warned that it could take days to restore the power grid as the bad weather made it unsafe to work on the network. Weather officials had earlier downgraded Gabriel's intensity, but Met Service in its latest update on Monday said it will still bring significant heavy rain and potentially damaging winds. Although the cyclone has yet to make landfall, it has already toppled trees, damaged roads and downed power lines. Many schools and local government facilities across Auckland and the North Island have closed, and people are being asked not to travel if possible. Meanwhile, some 10,000 international Air New Zealand customers were disrupted by the cancellation of 509 flights. Normal services are expected to resume Tuesday, with the national carrier adding 11 extra domestic flights to its schedule to help with recovery efforts. The cyclone is the second significant weather event to hit Auckland and the North Island in just a few weeks. Authorities say the 2 large events have stretched the emergency and recovery response system. And on entertainment, Governor BELLO of KOGI State has congratulated the Ohinoyi of Iberoland, His Royal Majesty Dr. Ado Ibrahim, on his 94th birthday, while thanking God for his good health and longevity. BELLO sent his felicitation in a statement issued by the Governor's Chief Press Secretary Onogu Mohammed in Lokoja. On behalf of his family and the good people of KOGI State, Governor BELLO extends warm felicitations to His Majesty on this landmark occasion of attaining the age of 94 in good health. He said, as the Ohinoyi clocked 94 years, may the Almighty Allah grant him longer life and more wisdom in good health to keep serving the people and even the nation at large. He wished him a happy birthday. Dr. Ado Ibrahim, born on February 7, 1929, succeeded Alhaji Sani Omolori on June 2, 1997 as the Ohinoyi of Iberoland. Saki. American rapper Future has appreciated Nigerian singer Tems for her vocal contribution to his hit single Wait For You. The singer won the award for the Best Melodic Rap Performance at the 2023 Grammy Awards. Following her win with Wait For You, the singer became the first female artist from the Nigerian music industry to win a Grammy. Appreciating Tems, the rapper sent a bouquet of flowers and a cute note, stating that this is just the beginning for them. He appreciated her for being part of the song. Following Tems' victory, many international acts expressed their desire to include the singer in their works. Tony Abraham Ajewole has reacted to the comments on social media that she is dead. The actress shared a screenshot of a YouTube post declaring her dead. Reacting to the post, the actress couldn't help but wonder why having a different opinion would warrant a death conspiracy. In the actress' opinion, and judging by the screenshots, the post is in relation to the actress stating that she might vote for Bola Tinubu in the coming general elections. She wrote that there is no longer a democracy if people can't speak freely. Other celebrities have also shown solidarity with the actress, urging her to be strong and not to fret. And that's the size of our package today. If you like what we are doing, do support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Malachi TV, and like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, Twitter at MLC TV 1. For your event coverage, appearance on any of our programs, contributions, comments, advert placement, or sponsorship, please call any of our numbers display on your screen. Join Malachi TV online at weekends to watch our various programs, Saturday 7 p.m. Political Arena and Sunday 6 p.m. Women's World. It's Malachi TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. Please go get your PVCs, go out and vote for your chosen candidate in the coming election. Remember, your vote is your power. Don't waste it. I am Matthias LDG Peter. Please be your brother's keeper to build a better society together. Thanks for watching.